So good afternoon, girls. Today we will see the kernel function, that is a resource management. So we have seen the process management, we have seen the memory management, we have seen the interrupt management. So we will see now the process resource management. So now the what are the resource? It is the input and output device management. The application, what we are going to see from this topic, the input and output device management, application IO interface. What kind of applications IO interface? What is the application we will see today? And the kernel IO subsystem. What is a kernel IO subsystem? Because it is related to the operating system, right? The device management. What do you mean by the device management? The main function of the device management are monitor the status of all device, right? So the main function of device manager, what it is does, so whatever the device is interface with the CPU, that has to be a monitor. Monitor the status of all devices, including storage, drivers, printers, and other peripheral, right? We know that any hardware device, if we are interfacing, we need to install the driver for that devices, right? So that driver is monitored by the device manager, right? Enforce the preset policy on which the process get and which device for how long, right? Deal with the allocation of device to the process, right? Allocation of device, that is device manager role. So it will deal with the allocation of device to the process. Deal with the deallocation also. When it is allocated some devices to the processor, that processor has to be a deallocated also. And the process both temporary basis, right? When the process is interrupted, and on the permanent basis when the process is completed, right? So when it is interrupted the process, when it is completed the process, all these has to be managed by the device manager operating system. This is the role of device manager. Now the device manager function track the status of each device. Just now I have said it will track the status. So now I'm moving my mouse, so the operating system will tracking the status of this my pointer, right? So it is track the status of each devices. User preset policy to determine which process will get the device and how long, right? Which process will get these devices, right? Suppose printer is there. Now I am giving one print instruction for one document, even the other document. The one document is one process, another document is. But which is the document will print and which is next? It is not happening that one page from one document and another page from another document. No, it will decide the device management. So which document which has the first request and which document the device should be allocated, let first printer job is print, and then the next job will allocated to the printer. So that is done by the device manager. Allocate the device is allocating, right? Deallocating the device at level 2, and again also deallocate. This is the main function of the device manager, right? Now the device management, what it is does, operating system, what are the things is looking the operating system, the process manager, memory manager, we have seen this. Process manager, memory manager, network manager. Network means internal network of all architectures of bus. So which are the bus are free, from which bus is allocated to which systems, and the data flowing, everything is managed by the network manager. File managers, device manager, and security manager. These six roles are very very important for the operating system, right? So there is one of the role is the device manager we are going to see, right? The device management, The examples, which are the devices? We have the input and output, and some of the devices are input also and it will act as the output also. This we have seen in many times, right? Keyboard, mouse, monitor, scanner, camcorder, CD-ROM, USB port, webcam, microphone and printer. All these are the input and output devices. Now what is the application IO interface? Each and every device has a driver, and that is to be installed in a operating system, upper layer of the operating system, and that is the applications of the input and output interface, right? The application IO interface represents the structuring technique. It is a structuring technique. Suppose if I'll press the A, so how it will display on the monitor? There are two devices we are using. One is the keyboard, one is the monitor. So taking a data from the keyboard, that is one interface, one application, and it is displaying on the monitor, it is another application. So it has a structure, technique and interface for the operating system to enable the IO devices to be treated in a standard uniform way. There is a universal rules. So according to that, the norms, standard norms will follow an uniform way. The actually difference lies the kernel level module called as the device driver. So each and every device has a driver, right? Even though if you are installing the printer, we need a driver. Nowadays the operating system is embedded with the pen drive drivers, keyboard drivers, monitor drivers, mouse driver and everything, speaker driver, mic driver. So each and every device has their own driver. So the actually difference lies the kernel level module called the device driver, and which are custom tailoredly to corresponds the device but show one of the standard interface to the application, right? It is a interface between. So now operating system has the in between application and which driver has to access that, which driver has to access by the processor. The purpose of device driver layer is to hide the difference among the device controller from the IO subsystem of kernel level. Kernel level has a IO subsystem, right? And such as the IO subsystems call, right? So in between the kernel IO system and the device driver, there is a application IO interface, right? What are the roles of the application IO? What are the characteristics of the followings are the characteristics of IO interface with respect to the device. First is the character stream or block stream. Either one character it will send, or it will send complete block, right? So one character if it is sending, like you are typing something, so one character is say, right? You are pasting means you are copying one block and pasting to the another block, so it is a block, right? Paragraph, that is a block. So the character stream or the block, a character stream device transfer byte in one by one fashion, right? It is one by one character stream, whereas block device transfer the complete unit of byte, right? So it is a difference between the character stream and block. It is a complete, and here it is a one by one. Sequential and random access, right? What is a sequential and a sequential device transfer the data in a fixed order determined by the devices, right? It will fix. Suppose I press 1, it will send 1. I press B, it will send B. I press C, it is into the sequence manner. But random access, any sensor will sense the data, it will send the randomly, right? So random access devices can be instructed to seek the position to any of the available data storage location, right? So randomly it will take the data from the environment and it will send. So that is the random access data, right? Synchronous and asynchronous. It is synchro for that. Okay, I'm pressing a, so it will display on the monitors. So it has a synchronization between the output devices and input devices, right? So a synchronous device perform the data transfer with the known response time, and where the asynchronous device show the irregular and unpredictable response time, right? Synchronization is with respect to time, उसी time में वो हो जाना चाहिए, right? That is a synchro. Asynchronization means unpredictable time. Suppose if I'll press A and next day it will print on the screen, what is the use of that? That is a asynchronized data transfer, right? Shareable and dedicated. Shareable device can be used concurrently by the several process threads, but dedicated device can be used into the one process. Now this is my laptop. My screen is dedicated to this microcontroller processor. My keyboard is also dedicated, but I can share the printer with other laptop also, right? I can share my mouse. I remove this my pin and I can share my mouse to the other. So the shareable and dedicated devices also concurrently by the several process and the thread, and dedicated device cannot be used by other also, it will be for that system. Speed of operation, these are the characteristics of the in application of IO interrupt. Speed of operations, the device speed may be range from few bytes per second or few gigabyte per second. It is speed of both the devices has to be managed, those are interfacing with the microprocessor. Read write or read only or write only, right? This the command we have seen. Read write means memory, we can read or write also, but LCD screen only we can write, we cannot read. From the keyboard only processor can read, only processor cannot write on the sum of the devices. Speaker is only output devices, or mic is the input devices. So that is the read and write devices. Some devices perform both the input and output, but other supports only one data directions, and that is the read only, right? Now see the kernel IO subsystem. What is a kernel IO subsystem? This is your kernel, right? Operating system. This is kernel IO subsystem. That kernel IO subsystem is interface with the drivers. So SCSI device driver, keyboard device driver, mouse device driver, PIC, program control interface interrupt, PCI device driver, floppy device driver, hard disk device driver, all driver will come to these things, right? Each and every driver has a controller, right? So these are the controllers, right? And these are the hardware devices, right? So this part is a hardware and this part is a software, right? So it is control unit is there, mechanism of keyboard, mechanism of mouse, mechanism of floppy controller. So each and every device has a controller over there, and that controller interfacing with the driver. So this is the hardware part and this is the software part. So the kernel IO subsystem is a software part of the kernel operating system. Now what is the kernel IO subsystem? Kernel IO subsystem is responsible to provide many services related to the IO, right? Kernel IO subsystem is responsible to provide the many services related to the IO. Following are the sum of the services provided. The buffering, it is buffering means storing. The kernel IO subsystem maintain memory area known as buffer, and that store the data while they are transferring between two devices or between a devices with an application operation. Between a two devices, suppose I'm pressing a is in a buffer and that is managed to the LCD screen. So between two devices, kernel IO system is managing. So the first function is there, repositioning, right? The kernel provide many services related to the IO. Several services such as scheduling, caching, spooling, device reservation, error handling are provided by the kernel IO subsystem. Scheduling, we'll see, right? Caching, memory related. Spooling, printer related. Device reservation, error handling, and provided by the kernel's IO subsystem. Build on the hardware and device driver infrastructure. It will build by on hardware and device driver, right? The IO subsystem is mainly responsible for protecting itself from the inherent process and the malicious user, right? The IO subsystem is protecting from all the devices, system, and the applications from the user, because it should not be mess over there, right? IO scheduling. What is the IO scheduling, right? To schedule the set of IO requests means to determine a good order in which execute them, right? The order in which applications issue the system call are the best choice, right? Scheduling can improve the overall performance of the system, right? The all as like a process is in a scheduling, right? Queue lagte hai, so that is a process scheduling. Same as in devices is also into the scheduling, and that has to be managed very efficiently, right? And response time, the oral and can share the device access permission fairly to all the process and reduce the average waiting time and response time, turn around time for IO to complete. The operating system developers implement the scheduling by maintaining a wait queue of the request for each driver, right? I just give the example of printer. Simultaneously within a fraction of time, I just given the two printout, from one from my system, another from another other system. So that is into the queue. So that devices is managed. Let the first is taken the first services for one system, and then that next job will allocated the next devices, next system, or multiple printers are there. Suppose one printer is in a queue, if they are into the parallel, so it will take this job, another printer will take another job. So these are the device managing and device sharing, right? It is a wait queue, so the my job is into the wait for the printing of next option of the requesting of. When an applications issue a block, IO system calls, right? It can be a block. Suppose I have given the print, but I don't want the next copy to be print, so I can block it, that also process, right? The request is placed in the queue for that devices, and IO scheduler rearrange the order to improve the efficiency of the system, right? It will improve the efficiency, it will de-mismatching the things. So that is the scheduling of each and every devices. I'm typing very, very fast, but all my letters is to be managed by the schedulers, and it will send to the screen, right? Buffering is a sort of memory kind. Buffering is a technique by which the device manager can keep slower IO device busy during the time when the process is not required IO operation, right? It is a buffering. IO devices is into the slow mode. Input buffer and output buffer, each and everywhere is, if I'm sending any input, so it is there the buffer, right? The buffering techniques is having the input devices read information from the primary memory before process request it, right? Output buffering means this is a technique of saving the information in a memory, then write it into the devices while the process is continually executing. So the first kernel IO subsystem task is scheduling. Second is buffering. And how it is buffering? No buffering if it is a directly IO devices is connected to the user processor. Single buffering, only one buffering IO processes. Double buffering means two processes are there. First is connected and then the second in cursor. Circular buffering means one by one. So this is the IO system buffering are there. So buffering is a memory area, right? That stored the data being a transfer between two devices, right? But a device and application. Buffering is done for the three reason, right? Three reason it will done. The first is to the cope with the speed mismatch. That is the first role of buffering. Suppose I press A, so that simultaneously error my A should sometimes be shown. My computer is very slow, miss. I'm typing lots of words, but it doesn't show on the screen. It is very slow. It's very so that is what the purpose of the buffering. It's mismatching between the producers and consumer of the data stream. The second use of buffering is to provide the adaptation of data that have different data transfer rate, right? It's a different data transfer rate. Some of the devices 256 bytes, some of the devices 128 bytes, some of the devices is 512 bytes. So that should not be a mismatch, taking and giving. So that has to be a match perfectly. So the data transfer size, right? Third use of the buffering is supports the copy of the semantic for the application IO. Copy semantic means suppose that an application wants to write a data on the disk and that is stored it into the buffer. It calls the write, and the system calls provide the pointer to the buffer and integer specify the number of byte to write, right? This is related to the memory, right? Storing the data into the memory or taking the data into the memory. First is what? The speed. Second is the data transfer. Third is to stored into the memory or writing into the memory. That is the three reason of buffering, right? Caching, cache memory. We always say that this word we always use. My computer has this much cache. If we are increasing the cache or speed of operation is increasing, it is in between memory processor and your RAM memory. The cache is a reason of faster memory and that hold the copy of data, right? Suppose if I want some data and that is recently it is into the there, so I cannot my CPU will not store into the RAM and my hard disk. It will there first, it will store search into the cache and it take the file from the cache. Recent storing and whenever we are opening one application or any application, so there it comes the recent storing. So that recent storing means what? It is into the cache memory, right? Hold the copy of data and access to the cache copy is much easier than the original file. For instance, the instruction of currently running process is stored on the disk and cache is physical memory. This is a physical memory devices and copy again into the CPU secondary and primary cache, right? So it is in between a memory of CPU and primary, there is a cache memory, right? Spooling device and reserve the devices, right? Just I have given the printer exam. That example is suitable for the spooling devices. A spooling is a buffer, right? It is a out buffer that holds the output of devices and such as a printer that cannot accept the interval data stream. Although the printer can serve only one job at a time and several applications may wish to print their output concurrently without having their output mix together. The operating system solve this problem by preventing all the output continuous to the print and the output of all the application is pulled. It is into the pull. We can say the pull, right? In a separate disk file, and when an application finish and printer then pull the system and queues and corresponding pull file of the output to be printed. So now you have very well understanding the pulling and the device reservation, right? Error handling. So how it will exception means exception handling means it is a error handling. So the exception is occurred by any illegal instruction is given or any illegal like it is divided by zero, any number divided by zero. So it occurs the error into the system, right? So that is the exception handling or error handling. An operating system that use the protected memory can guard against many kind of hardware and applications error, right? So that the complete system failure, it not usually the result of each error, minor mechanical glitch, or the devices or IO transfer can fail in many way, either for transfer the reason as when a network become overloaded, or for permitted reason as when the disk control become detective, right? So this is managed by the error. Anything is happen, illegal instruction, mechanical gauge, device IO transfer can be failure in many way, either it is transfer reason or network reason. So whatever the error is comes, it is handled by the error handler in a iOS kernel subsystem, right? IO protection. IO protection means it is IO devices protection. Error and the issue of protections are closely related. Error and protection, right? A user process may attempt to issue the illegal IO instruction to the disturbs the normal function of the system, right? The user process many attempt to issue, so many times we put the password and that is the illegal, so that is what IO system will manage, right? So we can use various mechanism to ensure that such disruption cannot be takes place in the system, right? To prevent the illegal IO access, we define the IO instructions to the privilege instruction, and then the user cannot be use the IO instruction directly, right? We privilege. Now here I'm writing a program, input and output instructions we cannot use the directly, it is there inside the system, right? So IO protections and the error handling, these are two very closely related issues, right? And these are the seven things it is into the kernel IO subsystem, right? That is repositioning, right? So your interrupt is occur and the kernel is repositioning, scheduling, 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 caching, spooling, device reservation, error handling, and IO protections. So these are the main functions done by kernel IO subsystem. So how the manage is input and output devices by the kernel subsystem and the operating system that we have seen today. Yeah, girls, do you have any questions related to this? Please ask.